Hey everypony! Who remembers health class? Like outside of sex ed? And the fact that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Wait, holy shit. Actually, this is a writer's note for future me. Even when I wrote this, I wrote it correctly without any help from autocorrect. How? How do I know how to spell this, but I can't pronounce 60% of most Spanish? Que esto? Okay, my tangent aside, I actually paid attention to science class quite a bit and originally was going to go into college with biology in mind. That is until I realized I couldn't remember any formulas for shit and it required me remembering things that I don't care about. But have you ever asked, what goes on in a person's head?
Guys, here, you pretend to be Joy.
No, not that one.
White sac is membranous around my person.
No, not that one either.
Come on, let's get back to the pits.
Okay, now you're just trolling me. Roll the clip. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon, ChronoCast9, Transformer Brett, and D Birch1. If you're at all curious on how to become a patron, look in the description below or go to patreon.com/Crimson Glow. We have benefits like early access to videos, custom icons, Patreon-only polls and content, and so much more. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and press that little bell icon in the corner there. We also have a Redbubble, so you can show your red reasoning pride in your day-to-day life. Now it's time for our regular scheduled programming. Cells at Work is an anime about red blood cell AE3803 as she explores and survives the chaotic world that is the human body, or at least a manifestation of the human body. At the time of this recording, the anime is ongoing and has been announced for its second season. It also has a spin-off called Cells at Work Code Black, which is taking place in a completely different human body. It is also based on the manga that ran from May to 2015 to January of 2021. Though there are actually countless spin-offs such as a light novel, Cells at Work Bacteria, Cells Not at Work, Cells at Work Code Black, like I mentioned before, and also Cells at Work and Friends. And you know what? You can get the picture. I don't know what else is going to be put up. Often people will compare it to Inside Out or Osmosis Jones, though neither really captures what this show is meant to convey. And maybe I'll talk about Osmosis Jones later in the future, but for now, I will just say it is a movie starring Chris Rock as a white blood cell cop inside of Bill Murray.
Tonight? Can we do it next week? Me and Malachi got tickets to WrestleMania.
It was weird. It was a weird movie, and it's a weirder show.
肺炎球菌が血管をめぐって各臓器を襲撃し脳を包む髄膜までも支配下に置いて
Cells at Work's story structure is actually more episodic than most, and it benefits from watching in order, but for the most part, you can just watch it out of order and miss absolutely nothing. There are two-parters in the entire series, which are interesting in their own way, but I'll get to those later. Overall, the show's comedy and intelligence are based on the idea that these are anthropomorphic cells doing their job. The rest of the body is not blood cells or part of the circulatory system or immune system. They're either considered buildings, environments, or other people living in establishments. If it's not part of the body, then they are either put in as mechanical or DBZ JoJo Bizarre Adventure villain aesthetics to emphasize them being the enemies of the human body. Honestly, this entire thing is so educational, I recommend it to a biology teacher. Many doctors on YouTube have actually praised this show for being hypo-accurate to how the body works. Akane Shimizu is actually the author and artist for this series, and doesn't really appear to have a lot of information put out about them. Like there's nothing, no social media, no anything. Some people might be thinking this is odd or rather peculiar and very mysterious and interesting. However, I think it's just a pen name. It's very common for many artists and writers in the manga industry. Most infamously, the example of a pen name being used in the manga industry is Fullmetal Alchemist Hiromu Arakawa. Supposedly, this was done because she wrote a shonen manga series and believed that a woman's name on the title would actually harm the book sales for the market. Though it could be because manga work is still not considered high art in Japan, and Japanese culture focuses a lot on privacy and how important it is. But the story itself, as described above, is actually pretty simple. The only thing I have to ask is, how is this person still alive?
Nothing in the world can stop me now!
I mean, whoever this guy is, even not considering the actual lifespan of a red blood cell, 120 days by the way, they're going through hell. The guy gets dehydrated to the point of needing an IV, scabbed up, suffering from significant blood loss at the point of near death, and cancer. I do have a headcanon though, because this whole thing is being done in a shonen manga. I'm gonna say that this protagonist is actually a shonen protagonist. Like, this human body is from a shonen protagonist. What do you guys think? Comment below what your thoughts are. I don't know. It's just a fun thought. Where was I? Oh, right. Story's good. It's well written. I like how they have anthropomorphized red blood cells and incorporated actual designs, jobs, and abilities. Something as simple as red blood cells' cowlick has been referenced as the sickle cell, which a detail you could gloss over if not for the incredible attention to detail that is made to make every human body work to an absurd amount of detail. I'll link the doctors who have actually reacted to this series that have a better view of what's going on in the description below, the comments, and also maybe the video itself. So while you look up more interesting people than me, let's talk about characters.
こちら本日分の酸素になります。赤血球
Our two main characters are Red Blood Cell and Neutrophil. There are other characters in this show, but most of the focus is on these two and how the world works. It's not a character-driven show, it is a plot-driven show. This makes sense for several reasons. It helps us focus on the world at large. This is an educational anime meant to teach you about the human body, specifically how the immune system and the circulatory system works. 2, the characters actually have jobs. Even though I have heard people talk about how this could be considered a caste system, this is the human body. Each character has a specialization. They are there to help the body grow. Red Blood Cell is a bright-eyed rookie who just began her job as a red blood cell. She's a bit ditzy, well-meaning. She's our insert character into the human body and how it works and how this world works. I love how our character grows through the series, and when she does succeed, it feels really satisfying. It doesn't seem like it at first, but it does feel really interesting when we get to the finale and she actually mentors a red blood cell that seems more knowledgeable and competent than she is. On the other hand, Neutrophil is what I would call part of the Marine Corps or the Army, some sort of military branch, because his job is to kill bacteria that enter the bloodstream. He's much colder, more reserved than Red Blood Cell, and he's a bit murder happy. Very quickly. Concerningly quickly. You often see this in how he actually treats Red Blood Cell, but I also think it's because the creator is shipping him with Red Blood Cell really hard in this series, and it's funny.
また会えますか?
Honestly, those are the characters you're going to see the most, and any of the other characters I bring up are going to be explained to you who they are, what they're known to do, what they're supposed to do, how they work. Even then, the characters themselves are charming, fun, and seem like people that you'd want inside of you. I'm not taking back what I said.
あいつの名はステロイドだ!
ステロイド
For the most part, I love the animation and the character designs. Like I said before, the bacteria look like something out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or DBZ, and it isn't without reason. All the characters' items there from the body look and sound human, or at least familiar, because they belong there. Meanwhile, things like bacteria, parasites, they look like they don't belong there, or rather that they look like they belong in Power Rangers or a Godzilla movie. It's also why the cancer arc comes off as so terrifying later in the first season. Cancer comes from your body. It looks like your body. It sounds like your body. The cancer arc is only about 2 or so episodes, but it's a great way to show how your body fights off cancer. This is also kind of one of those episodes where I think 1 or 2 doctors did complain about it.
Oh, we should be sympathetic towards cancer cells.
Now, if I did have one complaint about this show, it's the computer graphics. To show that there's more people in crowds or masks, they copy and paste models to look a little jarring against 2D designs, especially when they're put back to back. It's a minor gripe, at best. It's a minor gripe, and it's not used that often, truthfully. If you're really worried about missing some show points, you know, you're gonna be looking at how the body works. The point of the whole show is to show how the body works, and it doesn't really matter if there's computer animation.
こちら白血球高中級か U1146 番侵入した細菌の駆除完了
What are my thoughts on this show? I love it. I love this show a lot. When I showed this to the editor, he said that this was now his new favorite anime. When showing my sister, who is a bit of a science nerd herself, she noted how accurate this anime is compared to, say, even Magic School Bus, maybe. And it's probably pretty easy to see why. Beyond the scientific accuracies, the pretty design, and the larger-than-life setting, it remembers one crucial thing. It's charming. Yes, it's educational, and it's designed to be that cuteness that anime likes to sport nowadays. But it remembers that the characters should still be involved as individuals, that they help you care about what they do. In a way, your cells, or our cells really, become more human than we realize. Despite it being portrayed in this cutesy fashion as a functional place, the human body can go through some terrible things, and we should still cherish it. This has been your Future Eve Overlord, Crimson Glow, and wear a mask! I don't care what Texas says, wear a mask!
Everyone get it on, everyone. Circulation. So come on, everybody.
Exercise your body.
For circulation.
Most hearts couldn't withstand this voltage. But I'm fairly certain your heart